was on mute. What's happening, people? It's your girl, Mina. Welcome back to the channel. You lot are spoiled today. Not once, not twice, but 3 streams today. You guys are absolutely spoiled. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. And be sure to subscribe. Deadline day. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. The bell has been rung. You know, the deadline day has arrived. Cometh the hour. Cometh 11 p.m. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. It's been an absolutely busy day in the world of football, just generally speaking, but also in the world of Manchester United. It has been an absolutely busy day. Welcome to Manchester United, Manuel Ugarte. Welcome to Manchester United, KONE. Goodbye, Jadon Sancho. No Raheem Sterling, no Ben Chilwell, no Carney Chukwuemeka. It looks like Manchester United's transfer window is officially over. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Like I said, be sure to subscribe. Wait, were you wearing yellow a minute ago? Yeah, bro, I've been wearing the shirt all day. If anyone was to watch the streams, they'd be like, what the hell? This person hasn't changed their shirt in 3 videos. But these 3 videos have been in the same day, guys. I've been in my HQ all day. I cannot remember. I don't know what outside looks like, guys. Haven't spoken to my family. Haven't spoken to my friends. So make sure you guys hit the like button for the work, for the hard work, for the consistency. And of course, for the final daily dose of Mina transfer version, because obviously we've been doing this during the transfer window. And obviously we will continue throughout the rest of the season. But we just got to figure out what exactly we're going to be talking about every single day. So like I said, guys, please, I need you lot to hit the like button. I need you lot to get involved. It's 11 p.m. here in the UK. Let me know where you're watching from and what the time is where you're watching, because I know I got some viewers in the North Americas, the Caribbean. I know I got viewers in far Asia. I know I got a lot of viewers in Africa, Europe, Middle East, etc. So let me know where you're watching from and the time that you're watching from, because of course 11 p.m. is the deadline day. Over, finish, finito. And so much has happened. Yeah, we got to take it all in. Sancho fanboys are crying now, saying the window has been a shambles and the club is dusted because we let Sancho go. It's ridiculous. It's as if Man United's entire season and success was on Jadon Sancho's shoulders. It wasn't. And if he was that important to Manchester United, come on, the last 3 seasons or so, let's talk about that. But anyway, we're going to talk about Jadon Sancho anyway, because I think a lot of people I think the Sancho fans, or I don't even know why it's Sancho fans versus Ten Hag fans or whatever it is. It doesn't make sense. But a lot of people can't seem to comprehend why Manchester United is letting him leave for such a small fee, if that's the real fee with the obligation to buy. 1 + 1 hour in Sweden. 3:11 in California. I bet the sun is shining there as well. Remember, the Saudi and Dutch windows close later. Eriksen, Lindo, Casemiro still might go. I think I saw a report literally like about half an hour ago that suggested that Eriksen, Man United have accepted they're not getting any offers for Eriksen. They've been trying to ship him out. And they've accepted that they ain't getting nothing for him. Big up to DJ, says, so proud of you, Mina. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Says we're gonna go enjoy the season now, starting with a 2-1 win over Liverpool on Sunday at 5:14 p.m. here in Portmore, Jamaica. I'm from Portmore. That's in JA. Shout out to DJ and shout out to everyone in Jamaica as well. Obviously, that your countryman, Mr. Clark's, aka Raheem Sterling, is zooming down the North Circular, which is a road in London, heading to London Colony. I think he's actually already there to do his medical and join Arsenal. So we're going to talk about that. Eriksen and Lindelof won't go Saudi, and Saudi won't bid for them. I think that says a lot. Fajr in Malaysia. I'll be in Malaysia next month. I'm so excited. Big up to everyone in Malaysia. I need a Malaysia football shirt, guys, for when I go Malaysia. So if you don't know where I can find football shirts in Malaysia, please let me know, because I really want to get a Malaysia national team football shirt. How you feeling about it all, Mina? Listen, I can't lie. It's been the busiest, I think, transfer deadline day I can remember in a hot minute. I feel like there's been so many potential moving parts, not just for Man United, even just for other clubs as well. And it's been an interesting end to the window. I mean, I'm going to start with this because I think this is a big topic of conversation kind of surrounding everything. Raheem Sterling going to Arsenal. I mean, who would have thought just a couple of days, Manchester United fans, a couple of days ago, Man United fans were absolutely in a meltdown. They were in a meltdown at the prospect of Raheem Sterling joining Manchester United, and now Arsenal fans are welcoming him with open arms as some quality in depth alongside Martinelli. So that's very, very interesting. He's at London Colony right now doing his medical. He's going to sign. I think it's not even an option. I think it's just a loan spell. Any update on Sancho? You know what? Let's actually start with him. Let's start with the Manchester United transfer news. Is that all right? Is that okay? That's good. Manchester United have agreed. I can't believe I'm saying this. Manchester United have agreed a loan with an obligation to buy for Jadon Sancho to join Chelsea. Yes, guys, a loan with an obligation to buy. Apparently, according to reports, multiple journalists reporting this, the obligation fee is about £25 million. There's not much information about whether there's a loan fee involved as well. I think we'll find out in the next 24 hours what the loan fee is, who is taking on the salary. But I have a feeling, guys, I have a big feeling Manchester United have gotten Chelsea to take the chunk of his salary. And as a result, they will lower the transfer fee, but it will still allow them to make a profit from a book value perspective. Now, let's put this into perspective. Jadon Sancho, amortization wise, is about 15 million in Manchester United's books, plus around his 13 million salary. If they got him, or if they got Chelsea to take a big chunk of Jadon Sancho's salary and 25 million from an FFP perspective and in the accounts for this financial year, Manchester United will report a profit on Jadon Sancho's value, net book value, from an accounting perspective. What does that mean? It doesn't mean Manchester United will get 40 million in money, in literally like tangible money that you can see, but it's money from a PSR perspective or an accounting perspective. It makes it a lot easier for Manchester United, because I'm telling you guys now, and I've been saying this throughout the window, this season was a difficult season for Manchester United financially, because they are setting themselves up to be in a better place next summer window. For all we know, Manchester United might even be able to afford some transfers in January, maybe one marquee signing. The last time we brought a big deal, a big player, for a transfer was obviously Bruno, but historically United brought in Vidic, they brought in Evra as well, etc. So January could be an option that if Manchester United need it, they go into the window. But guys, let me know how you feel about this Jadon Sancho deal. Hey, Minna, what happened to the Chukwuemeka deal? Nothing kind of came to fruition with that deal. It was reportedly something Man United were exploring. That's it. Exploring FC, interested FC. The clock has now closed. Sterling, here we go. Have we got the here we go for Raheem Sterling? Have we got the here we go for Raheem Sterling? Hold on. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. I'm trying to keep up. Let me go to... Normally, I go to Ornstein. I'm not going to lie. Most of the time, I go to Ornstein to see what he's saying. But yeah, there you go. The here we go from Fabrizio Romano now for Raheem Sterling. Oh, shit. Did my computer just crash? Oh, I thought my computer crashed for a second. Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. Here we go. Agreement done on a loan move. Chelsea accept final conditions and the player got the move, as he also spoke to Arteta. Agreement done. Documents are soon to be okay. So it looks like Maresca has won. He got him out. He got Trevor Chalobah out. He got Romelu Lukaku out. Ben Chilwell, I think, is still there. Broha is on his way potentially to Ipswich. Fabrizio was reporting that earlier as well, that they're back in talks to get that deal done. This shows you managers win at the end of the day. They win at the end of the day. Jadon Sancho leaving, for me, it's not the same as Raheem Sterling. I don't think Jadon Sancho leaving means Eric Ten Hag won, quotation marks, in the battle between them, or whatever the hell you wanted to call what it had been between the two of them. Let me know, guys, your thoughts just about the deadline, how Manchester United have obviously done, in particular the Jadon Sancho one, because obviously I feel like Manuel Ugarte's signing, guys, has been overshadowed by this Jadon Sancho thing. Honestly, I think it's been overshadowed because had this been yesterday or the day before Emmanuel Ugarte was announced, everybody would have been screaming from the roofs. Finally, yes, he's here. But it just went under the radar. 9 p.m. today, Manchester United announced Manuel Ugarte through the door, signing his contract. Let me try grab this up here. Signing his contract, and officially a Man United player. Listen, I am so excited to see a player of his kind of personality in the team. That's not me saying personality FC, but I'm saying his type of personality is in line with people like um Licha, people like Dallo, people like Anana. That fire in a player is what we've missed. Casemiro, to an extent, it's going to be so good to see him. Honestly, I'm so excited. Of course, he's not going to be part of the matchday squad on Sunday, but he's going to have a nice little presentation at Old Trafford to the fans. I mean, before a Liverpool game, what a testament. How many minutes left on the window? My friend, the window has shut. The window shut 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago, the window shut at 11 p.m. UK time. However, I know that there is some kind of stuff I know there's some kind of stuff in the window where if they get the right paperwork sent across to get the transfer done, it can be done after the deadline, but the right paperwork has to be sent. I think it's called the transfer sheet or deal sheet or something like that. So people like Raheem Sterling, etc., will still be on the move. Obviously, they will push to get all the paperwork done. The people are working overtime right now between Cobham and Colony. People are working overtime at Arsenal and Chelsea trying to get the move done. I think Dan Ashworth is probably he's rubbing his hands, he's getting his cup of tea ready, and he's off to bed for the weekend because he probably feels like Manchester United have done a good job. 2 announcements, by the way, in one day for Manchester United. Actually, they had quite a lot of announcements, even for outgoings. They had a few announcements for outgoings as well, and another player that they also announced. Let me bring it up right here, bro. It's like my computer today or this evening does not want me to succeed. Seko KONE, another player announced for Manchester United, alongside obviously that Manuel Ugarte news. He has come in as Manchester United's newest under 21 to first team, I will say, path route. Under 21 to first team path route. Now, it was reported today as well by Samuel Luckhurst that Manchester United do not see him as an academy signing. They see him as a first team signing, as they expect him to go to the under 21s once he gets settled in England, settled life in Manchester, etc., etc. But the ceiling for this kid, guys, is up here. I think Manchester United have got a gem on their hands. I'm not kidding. 4 years from now, everyone's going to be like bargain of the 2024 summer transfer window. And can I just say, I've said this before, it's nice to see Man United now signing players in African markets, academy talents. Far too long we may have missed out on players from other regions due to the previous model for recruitment at Manchester United. But it's safe to say that Manchester United are trying to get ahead of the curve now. And how did United kind of get to signing KONE? It's interesting. Apparently they had scouts at the under-17 World Cup, and I spoke about the under-17 World Cup many times. They had him at the under-17 World Cup. They had scouts, and then they watched him again. I think it was in an under-18 tournament in North Africa. If you lot don't know, what they tend to do in like Africa, they tend to do these kind of competitions for under-18s, under-21s, etc. Teams across Africa, east, west, north, etc. with these academies play in these competitions, and they bring scouts from globally. And if teams like to send scouts to Africa, they will come and watch. Now, a lot of teams like Salzburg, Leipzig, teams like Monaco, etc., they go there, they frequent these places, and now English teams are catching up with this. So they only watched him 2 times. Well, they watched him a couple of times at the World Cup, and they watched him in this competition. And it's not technically 2 times because you're watching more than one game. So if we're saying the number of games, they've watched multiple games, and they felt that he had all the qualities to come to Manchester, develop in Man United's academy, and then have a pathway to the first team. I think he's going to be in the first team in the next 18 months, 24 months. In the next 18 months, I can expect to hear kind of conversations of him training with the first team, I think. And I think within 2 seasons, he will be also part of Manchester United. Guys, so much is moving around, by the way, outside of Manchester United. Reece Nelson was linked to Ipswich. It's now fell through, and now he's joining Fulham. So he's getting reunited with Emil Smith-Rowe. Obviously, Reece Nelson leaving is clearing way for Raheem Sterling to come through. Eddie Nketiah has been announced as a new player for Crystal Palace. And just now, here we go. Fabrizio giving, should we say here we go, or should we say there we land? Shout out to that young kid. There we land. Ivan Toney, £40 million package. Brentford, can I say, priced him out of a move, I think, to the Premier League teams. And I'm going to stay on that because Brentford reportedly were not budging on 60 million. That's what any team in Premier League wanted to send him, 60 million. But Al Ahly have managed to get Ivan Toney for a 40 million package, which I wonder what the fixed fee is versus the add-ons, etc. Medical done, contract agreed. Ivan Toney will travel to Saudi Arabia this weekend to be presented. Osimhen deal is off for Al Ahly. It was always between Al Ahly and Osimhen. It was always between one or the other. Mina, you live again. Listen, guys. I made a promise this summer I was going to be consistent. I made a promise I would be consistent, and I'm trying my best to be consistent. It's 1:25, 1:25, I'm bugging out. It's 11:25 p.m. If any of you guys want to pull up on the stream, let me know. I'll drop the link in the chat. If any of you lot want to come through, I'll let you lot come through, and we can talk about the transfer window. But listen, for the consistency, for the hard work, for the graft, for the grind, my curtains have been closed outside. I don't know what the hell outside looks like right now, guys. I don't know what outside looks like since 12 p.m. basically, or 1 p.m. today up until now. So make sure you lot hit the like. If you're not gonna join the Minions gang and you're not gonna send in super chats, just like and subscribe. Mina, drop the link. I will drop the link now. Let me drop the link now. Please, guys, if you're gonna join, put your name in the box so I can see what your name is. Just so I know who you are. Just so I know who you are. But this has been possibly one of the most chaotic transfer deadline days that I can manage. I mean, this guy here has gone to Lyon, guys, on loan from Galatasaray. He has gone to Lyon on loan from Galatasaray. Where the hell did this come from? Where the hell did this come from? But for me, I think this is the biggest shock of the window. I'm not gonna lie. This guy has fully gone from Liverpool to Man City to flipping Chelsea to Arsenal. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But listen, let me bring a few people through. Let me just quickly switch this up. Let me bring a few of you lot through. I'm still trying to get used to this. Aminor, are you laying down again? Aminor, are you laying down again?
No. I'm sat on my sofa.
All right, you're not laying down. Let me bring through Nedu as well. Big up, guys, man. How you lot doing? Now, what do you lot think of the deadline day for United? Aminor, what do you think?
I feel like I'm repeating what you said on the United view, but for me, I'm pleasantly surprised that we've done the deals that we need to do in terms of signing players. We've gone for profile signings rather than big name signings. So for players like Euro, which we need to remember is a good generational talent. Ugarte, I'm not convinced whether he's an upgrade on Fred. Not sure, but at least we've got somebody who's got the legs. For me, the outgoings have not been as good as it could be. I rather would have seen Anthony go, if I'm honest. But apart from that, like you said before, 7 out of 10 for me. So relatively happy.
Nedu, what about you? Because I saw you and KG were just shouting at each other for like a good 5-10 minutes.
Let me say this first before I start ranting. Armando Broja is more expensive than Jadon Sancho. Chelsea
It's
got
30 million, right?
30 million for Armando Broja. We sold Sancho for 25 million.
I mean, we ain't sold him yet.
It's
guys.
an obligation.
Obligation to buy 25 million. Does that show you though that United just want to dust their hands off him and just get him out by any means?
Yes, but I feel like they only did it because they were like they weighed up the option. I'm annoyed at INEOS, but if they saw that the manager wasn't going to use him anyway, so that's probably why. Because for the whole window, they're like, we're not letting him go if no one pays the 40 million, right? all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like they see that the manager doesn't play him for 2 games, takes him with the team to Brighton and doesn't even put him on the squad. So possibly they're like, all right, we'll just let him go, you know. But still, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed at INEOS, man. Like you cannot. First of all, why do we always get shagged by Chelsea?
Do you
Like
think this is a shagging though? Do
yeah,
you
like you do you forget that we gave them 55 million for Mason
if
Mount
you think about it like this, we gave them 35 million and Sancho
plus
For
Sancho.
Mason Mount.
Yo, I wanted to cry when I saw the year we go Sancho because I'm like, how
Yeah, but Nedu, but can I just say, when you're comparing Adam Broja to Sancho, what was Adam Broja's wages compared to Sancho's wages? So you need to factor
That's
that
one
into
factor. Yeah, that's
why
one
the
factor.
deal's that.
that's actually a good like that's a good idea. But still, do you if you're comparing both players, would you even mention Sancho and Amanda Broja
I
in
mean,
the
it's
same
not the
breath?
same situation though.
It's not the same situation, but come on, what is even what is Jadon Sancho's transfer market value to you? Like if you were to sell Sancho, how much would you have sold him for?
Given if you're taking, but what are you taking into consideration when you think about his transfer value? Are you thinking about the type of player that he is and the ceiling that he has, or are you thinking about all of that plus the fact that his value has depreciated at Manchester United
Solely because of Ten Hag. Because
solely because of Ten Hag?
we no, but we saw what he could do at Dortmund just barely 4 months ago.
Do you really think Sancho has no blame for his price depreciating at Manchester United?
He has no blame. Mina, I promise you, if you actually, and obviously, I'm sure you have your reasons why you think he's to blame, but Sancho didn't really get a chance. Trust me, like it's just like Donny van der Beek. Like I know
He got much more chances than Donny van der Beek. Come on,
no, wait.
come on.
Look, I know Donny's case is even different. Like he's not really United. He was never really United level, but both of them never really got a chance. Like remember the time when Sancho came in, that was the time when United did that stupid thing of bringing Ronaldo back, and it just killed the whole um flow of where the club was going to. And do you really want to tell me that Sancho has been worse than Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho? I can allow a pass for Garnacho because yeah, I don't think he's good enough. But what one thing that boy would do is keep trying. But are you telling me Rashford's starting position? Rashford has done more to start than Sancho has. Are
Over
you
his
really
time
telling
at
me that?
Manchester United, I would say yes, Rashford has done more.
Yeah.
Over his
Nedu,
But you
just
time
can't
at
compare their
Man.
time. Rashford's been there a lot longer than Sancho has. One thing I will say though is Sancho had a fair number of 90s under Ralph Ragnick
But he
after
did
Oli got
good
sacked.
though. That was like that was the best football he played under Ralph at the 4-2-2 formation. Don't you think so?
I think he played well under Ralph, but also can I say United were ass then,
No,
so
obviously, like we
it's
were
hard to
cheats.
kind of.
Yes, but what I'm saying is okay. Think of it this way: if you take Rashford and you put in that Dortmund team, do you think he would have done what Sancho did?
Two different type of profiles of players.
Exactly. Fine. Yes, but this is like anyway. We would have to agree to disagree. But what I'm saying is like for Ten Hag to come out and say stupid things like he would have to fight for his place in the team. What team? This shit one or another one?
So you're saying, Nadu, let me get this right. Yeah, you're saying that Ten Hag saying Sancho has to fight for his spot is wrong because
It's
the
very
players are
wrong.
crap. So why does he have to fight and the players don't have to fight? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like
Aminal,
what?
do you agree? Do you agree with
no.
that?
I
Come
don't.
on,
I
man. Like
understand where it's coming from, but I don't because the way I look at it, for me, it's not necessarily. I think Sancho was probably one of the most technically gifted players at United. I'd say technically,
Yeah.
but in terms of his ethic and his mentality, he's probably one of the weakest. Look at Maguire. Like Maguire was. You talk about disrespect by Ten Hag. Ten Hag disrespected Maguire the most. He took off his captaincy. He shunned him away from the first team. You know, he gave him signs that, look, I don't rate you. But look what Maguire did. He knuckled down and he did almost like a redemption arc. Now, I'm not saying Maguire is a world-class defender. He's a best fourth choice, third choice centre back to have in the squad, but that is Maguire's mentality. Now, compare that to Sancho. Sancho, yes, he may have been disrespected. Yes, he may have made himself available, but Ten Hag didn't select him. But for me, his desire to play for Man United is nowhere near as strong. So therefore, in one sense, for that reason, I'm happy that he's gone to a club. Now, I do. KG raised a point before, which is really good on Sancho. For me, is that I do question his desire to play football. He's gone to Chelsea, where they have about 50 odd players there. When is he going to play? And maybe that suits him. Maybe he wants to play once a month and gets paid 250 or 300,000 pounds a week. That's probably his desire, and he's comfortable with that. But I don't want players with that sort of mentality in a team whereby we need to be fighting for challenging for the title. We need to be, competing against Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City. We're nowhere near that. So we need players who are able to roll up the sleeves and fight. Unfortunately, for me, Sancho is a technically very good player, but the analogy I give, he's like the icing on the cake. It's a luxury player for me, and I just don't think we can carry those types of players in our squad.
Okay. This is where what you said made sense in some instances, but this is where I disagree. I don't know how you can question his mentality when the reports are out there that even after. Let me start from the beginning here. So you don't get picked for a game. First of all, you get played in a preseason for the whole preseason, and players that did not play in the preseason come back, you get dropped all of a sudden. Mind you, the manager has told you, I'm going to play you here. I plan to play you here this season. The league starts, the manager changes his mind. He doesn't let me know. And obviously, he's a young lad. And maybe this is where he was wrong. Maybe his attitude kind of changed. But I'll tell you this. When you were a lot younger, if your parents promised you something and then they didn't do it, are you going to tell me, okay, Dad, okay, Mom? Oh, there's going to be a little bit of attitude. You know what I mean? Fine. Sancho was wrong there. But even after that, then you come out and then the next thing you say is, oh, he didn't train well. He's not training well. I decided not to pick him. So the player comes out, and I don't think Sancho was wrong for coming out and saying, look, I'm getting scapegoated here. Like, I'm training just as good as other players are training. Why am I not being picked for the squad, right? He gets put away. He gets told to eat his lunch in the parking lot. And yet he kept showing for the training. He got pushed back to the under 21s. Not once did Sancho miss the training. He kept coming. So don't tell me about his mentality. He wasn't just because I didn't say sorry. That's why you don't play me. Like, what are we doing here? Is this high school?
Okay, you know what?
I'm gonna give me a second. Let me bring G in. What's happening? You sent a private message about Sancho saying that he's had ample of opportunities.
Yes, I just want to say I hear what my brother Chinedu is saying, and I hear him. But with Sancho, first of all, we need to realize that let's not make it a Ten Hag thing. I believe Sancho played under at least 4 managers. I believe he played under Oli. I believe he played under the interim manager, which was Ralf Rangnick, under Carrick, and now Ten Hag. Now, all these managers can be wrong. Now, a question to you, Nedu.
Wait, before you continue.
Let him get to this. No, I'm gonna have to you. Let him finish.
You can report me after.
Okay.
Was Sancho a staple? Was it a given on the team sheet under those 4 managers? That's all.
Under Ralf Rangnick, he was, and that was and I would say this again. If you have a way of going back to reward those matches, fine. He wasn't. This is what I want to rebuttal. You said he played under 4 managers. Who played well under those 4 managers?
I mean, Rashford had decent seasons.
Come on, don't.
Can I say in an area of uncertainty, everyone ain't gonna play well under every manager when there's uncertainty nonstop.
Yes,
I think the best consensus is to look at maybe Erik Ten Hag, who's been here. This is now his 3rd season. Who's been 1 good season, 1 bad season? Who's been bad consistently? I don't really think there's anyone that's been bad consistently, and I don't think there's been anyone that's been good consistently.
So why Sancho getting the blame?
However, let's put it like this: Jadon Sancho hasn't played a competitive game for Manchester United in over a year.
Whose
Right?
fault is that?
Over a year. You cannot sit here, Nedu, and say he doesn't have any fault as much as Eric Ten Hag does.
No,
He has no fault.
There are some faults, right? But it's not as much as Eric Ten Hag has single-handedly bullied this boy. I'll say it again, bullied him. It's bullying, because how can you, Mina? Put yourself in his shoes. You know how good you are at football. You watch the team play shit every week in, week out, and the manager still comes out and says, "Oh, you have to fight for." Come on, there's no way you tell me you are not going to be pissed off.
I can understand that point actually.
There's no way you're not going to be pissed off.
I can understand that point, but whereby when Ten Hag was playing Anthony over Sancho a number of times and Anthony wasn't performing, on that point I agree. But for me, just to move on the debate on Sancho, because I'm sure we've had the Sancho conversation beforehand, I'm now looking at Ten Hag now. My eyes are on Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Because INEOS, you've raised the question about Ten Hag, sort of bullying. Well, I'm not necessarily agree with that, but I understand what you're trying to say. He disrespected Sancho. Okay, Sancho's gone. Now the eyes are on you, Ten Hag. You have been backed, and there are no more hiding places. This is your third season now. I'm not saying Eric Ten Hag should go or leave, should be sacked now, but I genuinely, I want to see in the next 10 games or 8 games, I want to see a drastic improvement in the style of play. I want to be able to feel confident if we play, I'm making this up now, West Ham away or Newcastle away or a mid-table team away. I should feel in my heart that is 3 points banked in the table already. I should not be worried that we're going to be drawing or losing those types of games. That's where I should be. If he's not there, then Ten Hag is under. Let
me ask you a lot of question. Obviously, this is INEOS's first summer window, and a lot of people are saying they're going to judge INEOS based on this, not based on anything else. Do you think INEOS have done well factoring in the ingoings, the incomings, the outgoings, the fact that Umar Barada, Dan Ashworth, they didn't start their job until the first or second week of July? Do you think INEOS have done well? Bear in mind, Dan Ashworth, I think, has been leading a lot of the negotiations and the talks. And if you see how Newcastle's window has turned out without Dan Ashworth, then you see how much of a big asset he is.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, let me.
Nedu's gonna say that it's a bad window because they got rid of Sancho.
No. I was actually not gonna say that. I was actually going to say that the window for me, it's bittersweet. Why? Because I like the profile of Euro, right? But I feel like we overspent on him. I don't like. I'm not going to sit here and say he's never going to do. Like from the first match that we were fine, maybe he made a few mistakes, but you can see his potential, and I like the signing, right? But I feel like we kind of overspent, and maybe we had to because Real Madrid were lurking and everything, right? But I think we could have done a lot more. Even our outgoings, I love, like INEOS did well. Like I'm not going to, I'm going to be angry at them for selling Sancho for 25 million and stuff, but how do you hold out 30 million for McTominay, but you can't hold out 40 million for Sancho, things like that. Selling Van de Beek for 500k.
Desperation does that.
Selling Pelestri for 6 million, like things like this. Like I'm like, were you guys just trying to like rush them out of the club or
desperation? They're desperate to get rid of him. They're desperate to get him out. And that says a lot about Sancho. That says more about Sancho and this kind of player that he is than I think about INEOS. If they're so desperate to get him out.
No, I think they're just trying to back Ten Hag, and Ten Hag wanted him out.
This ain't for me, Ten Hag. If they were gonna back Ten Hag, respectfully, they would have kept Scott McTominay. Ten Hag came out in his presser today about how angry, like how upset he is about Scott McTominay leaving. And I've been saying this for ages. If it was up to him, they would have kept him. But I think this is INEOS's project, and they're showing Eric Ten Hag we're doing what we think is right to build the squad that we think is the best to compete. And Eric Ten Hag, unfortunately, he's just another chess piece on the board for INEOS. He's not the face of the project. He doesn't have as much control as some people like to suggest that he does. And I know everyone is painting him out to be the kind of monster pushing a player like Jadon Sancho out. But bear in mind, Umar Barada is familiar with Jadon Sancho. Dan Ashworth at England is familiar with Jadon Sancho. These are people that outside of the starting 11 and the training facilities, they are familiar with what Jadon Sancho is like. So clearly they've come to a decision that they feel like is sufficient to move the club forward and create a harmony within the dressing room, because I'm sure you guys can know could feel it, that maybe this has divided the fan base and the dressing room. Marcus Rashford has been unable to perform since his best friend was exiled out of the club.
No, come on. How would you say that he was disrupting the?
No. I'm saying this situation with Sancho and the manager has disrupted the dressing room.
No, really, because
I think it has. The Athletic even did an article and said that some players didn't agree with Ten Hag, and as a result, it was causing disharmony in the dressing room. The Athletic did an article on it, guys. You can check it out. Aminor, what were you going to say?
No, for me, I think with INEOS, what you're going back to about, I think INEOS have got a game model in their mind in terms of this is the style of play we want. These are the profile of plays that we want, irrespective of whether Ten Hag is here in the next 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months. And that's why I am actually, this is going to sound a bit of a wild take, but I feel there's so much pressure on Ten Hag now. Because if he doesn't perform in the first 10 to 12 games, there's an argument in my mind that if we're languishing around 8th, 9th by November, December time, he could go. Ten Hag. I'm now more convinced after the transfer window that could happen, just because, using Scott McTominay example, Scott McTominay was Ten Hag's saviour when it comes to matches where we're struggling to win. Well, INEOS said, well, we don't follow your game model. Here's our game model. Here's the tools. You now need to deliver based on those tools. And if you're not capable to deliver the standards that we set to you when we spoke to you during the summer, then bye-bye. So for me, I actually think, weirdly enough, there's now more pressure on Ten Hag to deliver quickly after this transfer window.
I agree. What do you lot say is your predictions for the season? Just before we wrap it up, we'll go around. What's your predictions?
I'll just go quickly. I think for this season, my expectation is at least we can try and get into the top 5. I think top 4 will be a difficult ask, because I think there's still some lingering issues. That said, on the transfer window, I think the transfer window went better than I ever think it was going to go for. I'm happy INEOS did one thing, which I think in the past we have failed to do, is know when to let it depreciating assets off. We've held on to assets and they've depreciated further and further. And I like the fact that INEOS cut their losses short and said, you know what, we just let it go. On the subject of Euro, I think Euro is a fantastic deal. I mean, if you're looking at his profile, his age, I mean, I'm ecstatic with the way things are going at United. I'm hopeful for a good season. However, I do share what the previous speaker said, which is I think Ten Hag must deliver this season. And if he fails to, then the chances are he will lose his job. Yeah. Although I don't support it, but I mean, he's been supported, so he can't say he hasn't been supported. And I think the fact that River Nestoroid and the other guy have been brought in might signify the fact that he may be on borrowed time.
Yeah. I will just echo what they both said too. Like he's under more pressure now. What it is, what I don't want them to do is poop the bed again and stick with this manager for way longer than they did. He should have been gone this summer. That's my opinion. He should have been gone.
But he's here now, so.
But he's here.
Yeah.
So now I'm saying that the longer he stays, if Ten Hag is here by the second international break, we're not finishing above 8th.
Second international break, isn't that in like October, bro?
Exactly. We're not finishing above 8th, and we would be very low in our Europa League.
Please, what are the mods? Please clip this for me so that we can come back to this at the end of the season.
If he's not gone, if they don't sack this manager by the second international break, we are in the mud. We are going to finish nothing above 8th position. And just because I have to go somewhere, I just want to address something. Emma, in your chat, I don't know what my wife did to you.
Emma, leave the wives out. Leave the wife or the wives out of the conversation.
Opinion. But hey, thank you for letting me on, Mina. You guys like great football knowledge. Big up to you guys, man.
Big up Nedum. Big up Aminor. Big up G. Big up both of you lot for coming through. Aminor, I'll see you Sunday. Old Trafford, inshallah. I'll see you, Old Trafford. Oh man, Nedu, man, what a guy. Honestly, Nedu has the funniest. Him and KG. If you lot did not watch it, guys, go and watch Nedu and KG just screaming at each other for like a good 10 minutes today on KG's channel. But there we have it, guys. Transfer deadline day. What other news have we kind of missed out and get the opportunity to rank how the league has kind of how it's gonna how the league is going to go on, I guess, for the next 9 or so months, because obviously rival teams have been making moves. Let's go see what's happening in the world of football when it comes to transfers. Have we missed anything? Birmingham City have just brought a player for 20 million. That's crazy. Birmingham City is in League One, guys. Birmingham City is literally in League One. All right, let me pull this up here on the screen so we can have a nice little evening or night. It's not even evening, it's literally night. Let's go and scroll through one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite accounts on Twitter, just a FYI, guys. If you lot want to, make sure you lot go follow me on all socials as well. Right there, no, there, somewhere around here. You lot see it, Mina Football. Go follow me on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, all of that kind of stuff. But let's see what's happened. West Ham have completed the loan signing of Carlos Soler from PSG. West Ham have been active in this transfer window, as have Aston Villa, as have Brighton, etc. So that's another player that they've added. Of course, this is what we spoke about earlier. Ivan Toney to Al Ahly. Here we go. £40 million package for Brentford. And I think it's 20 million euros a year for Ivan Toney, tax-free. I mean, is anybody shocked about this? Please, can we talk about this? Because it's been the only two fan bases that I've really seen talking about Ivan Toney this summer transfer window has been Arsenal fans and Manchester United fans. And we've seen like little reports linking Ivan Toney to Manchester United, saying that that's a striker that they were looking at if the opportunity arises, but the price was the issue. Brentford were staying firm with Premier League teams for a 60 million price that they wanted. Obviously, with the possible opportunity of losing him on a free next summer, I get why they're doing that, but he's not taking in consideration all the factors that he comes with. You know, you take into consideration the fact that he was suspended for gambling, but outside of that, 28 years old, no sell-on kind of value. Who's going to pay 60 million for Ivan Toney? It doesn't make sense. You get the best part of 3 years for him, etc. And then you probably have to part ways with him. Going to Saudi, though, his Premier League legacy is dusted. Big Up Joe says, Mina, KG's on a YouTube tour. When you having him on? That guy just pulls up onto random streams like all the time. But I need to get him on. I need to get him on sometime soon. On a daily dose, maybe. I'll get him on. Maybe next week. Yeah, maybe next week might be a good time to get him on. But this is definitely a transfer move that has left a question mark on Ivan Toney for me, because if he never ends up coming back to England, if he ends up staying in the Saudi league for predominantly the rest of his career, he's going to be a striker that, even is it crazy to say he might be a streets won't forget kind of player where people reminisce on him 10, 15 years from now, like, oh, remember Ivan Toney at Brentford? Because, yeah, other than that, I'm just shocked. I think this is the move that shocks me the most. Everton have submitted a late deal to sign Armando Broja on loan from Chelsea, another player that's been exiled out by Maresca. And like I said, it looks like they've done good business. Chelsea look like they've done good business to get the players that Maresca doesn't want out of the door. I think a lot of them have left on loan deals, and I think the only one that actually has been sold is Romelu Lukaku to Napoli. They also have a 30 million buy option for the striker. I definitely anticipate that is not an obligation to buy. It can't be. It might be an option to buy, because there's no guarantee Everton will be even in the Premier League next season. Guys, there's no guarantee. I don't know what this means for Calvin Lewin, by the way. Nottingham Forest had completed a what? Nottingham Forest signed Ward-Prowse. Where the hell did that come from? Where did that come from, guys? But Nottingham Forest have completed a double deal signing. I actually had Nottingham Forest getting relegated this season. Morato from Benfica, sorry. And and James Ward-Prowse from West Ham. Didn't James Ward-Prowse just join West Ham like last season? That is a questionable one. Sebastian Haller has been on the move as well. Another player that's been on the move. Reece Nelson is going to Fulham, not Ipswich. That's crazy. Eddie Nketiah, your defense is in trouble. Nketiah's in the room. He's heading off to Crystal Palace, a deal worth up to 30 million. It looks like they've got rid of him. They're getting rid of Reece Nelson. They're bringing in Sterling, and their only number 9 is Havertz as a false 9 and Gabby Jesus. I've seen Arsenal fans talking about this a lot as well, about the fact that they haven't signed a striker. Obviously, I think they were linked to, who's that striker called? Who's that guy called that they were linked to? Shit, it's gone out of my head. At Leipzig, that ended up signing a new deal. A good deal for Brentford. Toney would have been a good striker at United. I would have loved Ivan Toney at United. Honestly, the idea of Ivan Toney at United, it would have been amazing. But sometimes, you know, what you want doesn't always happen, unfortunately. Sesko, yes, there you go. Thank you, Lil Yo-Yo. Benjamin Sesko. That was a player that Arsenal were linked to quite early in the window, and he ended up signing a new deal. But this is what shocks me the most, guys. Wallahi, this guy here, on my life, astaghfirullah, let me not say on my life because I shouldn't be swearing on stuff other than God. I swear to you guys, yeah, this is probably the move that has shocked me the most, because this is what a bad agent, like, I'm not saying his agent is bad, but he was holding out for ridiculousness. Like, I'm not surprised Chelsea have walked away from this, guys. If you've not realized, if you're not aware, by the way, Osimhen's relationship with, Osimhen to Chelsea collapsed. Reportedly, he wanted about 350 or up to 350 a week, and Chelsea were offering him 175 a week, and they could not agree personal terms. Additionally, aside from obviously Chelsea, Al Ahly were in talks with Napoli for Victor Osimhen, and they offered him 120 million 4-year deal. That is taking care of his family for generations to come. 30 million euros a year, yeah. And reportedly, Al Ahly moved along with Brentford and Ivan Toney because Napoli's greed. They tried to increase the price. They didn't. I don't think we ever got the here we go between the two clubs. I don't think we ever got the agreement between Al Ahly and Napoli. They wanted a lot more money. And this is what intrigues me the most, because 2 summers ago, this guy was the most sought after striker in Europe, I would say. I would say he was one of the most sought after number 9s when Napoli were fresh off of winning the league. He signed a gentleman's agreement. He signed a new deal with a gentleman's agreement, basically, with Napoli, with the release clause of 120 or 130 million. And on top of that, they agreed that if anyone triggers that, they will let him leave. And they agreed that they will let him leave the following summer, regardless of if someone triggers it or not. No one triggered it. I think PSG was interested in him, but Napoli, it was reported that really PSG were interested in signing Kvaratskhelia and not signing Victor Osimhen. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because they had signed Gonzalo Ramos last year. They signed Kolo Muani. I'm not saying they're better than Victor Osimhen, but it wouldn't make sense after they spent 130 or 140 near enough on those two players to go and spend 100 and something on another striker. Chelsea come in, are in talks. I mean, this has been the conversation I've been seeing the most. I watch a few Chelsea content creators, of course, so I've been seeing this a lot about Victor Osimhen, because Chelsea need the depth in the number 9 and the quality in the number 9. They got Nicholas Jackson. Nkunku could play up top, I think, as a false 9 maybe, or as a second striker. But outside of Nicholas Jackson, they don't really have any other strikers per se that are good. They got that striker that went out to Burnley on loan. They've got Armando Broja that they're sending to Everton. But this is what, for me, shocks me the most about this window, because not only has Victor Osimhen and his agent kind of the talks broke down with Chelsea because of wage. His relationship with Napoli now is completely broken. And it's reported that if nothing happens for Victor Osimhen to join a Saudi Arabian team, and Al Ahly have walked away from that because they've got their man, they got Ivan Toney, it will be expected for Victor Osimhen to be exiled from the Napoli first team. Antonio Conte has been very clear that he wants nothing. He does not want this guy in the team. Osimhen. Is it? I thought it was Osimhen. I always used to hear people saying Osimhen, but thank you very much. Osimhen. The talks with Napoli is broken, relationship broken, communication broken. This guy is going to be basically on Jadon Sancho settings until January, until he can potentially get another move. I don't know if this is this bad management from his agent, from him? I don't know if you lot remember, right? A couple of days ago, it was talks about him going on loan to Chelsea or him going on loan somewhere. And his agent came out and made a statement and said, this guy is African Player of the Year. He's this. He finished 8th in the Ballon d'Or race a couple of seasons ago. He made history with Napoli winning to help them win the Serie A. He did this. He did that. X, Y, Z. It's an insult to suggest that he would go on loan. He is worth every penny. But his agent just came out talking wreck. Guys, his agent came out and talking reckless. And a few days later, transfer deadline day, his ass is still in Naples. And not only that, if his agent does not get on the phone to Saudi Arabia, what's the area code? 0097, I don't know. Whatever the area code is for Saudi, if he don't slap that in his phone right now and call up Saudi Arabia, this guy, he better take his ass to Sorrento, to the Amalfi coast for the next couple months. Just chill there, because he's not going to play any games for Napoli. Antonio Conte, we've seen at Spurs what he did to my boy Arnett Danjuma. When Antonio Conte does not want a player, you will not play. And with this relationship breakdown between not just the manager and the player, but also the agent and the player and the structure of the club, the sporting director, etc. Once that's broken, there's really no coming back from that. There is really, really no coming back from that. So whoever his advisors are, they effed him over big time. They effed him over big time. Then watch him accept even less than half his wages in Jan. H says in Jan we'll get him for even less. Listen, 40 million for Osimhen in Jan. I won't be surprised. Osimhen and his agent have had a stinker. Osimhen moving like Odemwingie, burning bridges on both ends. He's literally just messed things up for himself. I like Osimhen, but he's a real... He's my Nigerian brother. He has never been interested in moving to Saudi, as he still wants to play European football. Plus, he's young, right? How old is he? He's like 24, I think, or he's 25. He's young. He can afford to sit out for a couple of months. I'm sure he can afford to do that. He will still get called up for Nigeria when it comes to qualification games, when it comes to friendlies. He's still getting that call up. It's Gucci. It's all Gucci for him. He's 26. Okay, maybe he can't afford to sit out for a couple of months. Maybe he can't afford to sit out for a couple of months. But this is, for me, easily, out of everything that has happened this transfer window, without a doubt, this is the biggest stinker in this summer transfer window for not Napoli and not for Chelsea, but for Victor Osimhen and his team. Because I'm sorry, the biggest topic of discussion has been him during this transfer window. Now, on the topic of Chelsea, I don't know how the hell how have Arsenal done this, guys? How have Arsenal done this? Reportedly, Arsenal are paying no loan fee for Raheem Sterling and have agreed to pay a contribution of less than 50% of Raheem Sterling's wages. So it's pretty clear, it's pretty obvious, guys. When Maresca wants you out, the club will listen. Shout out to Nedu, innit? Because Nedu was here talking about United agreeing an obligation to buy for 25 million. These lot don't even value Raheem Sterling. They don't even value Raheem Sterling. No loan fee. No loan fee. And what I don't get is, I don't know, man. Chelsea's a funny run team sometimes. Honestly, they're a funny run team. But less than 50% of a wage deal, Sterling will flop. Watch, big up to the Ridge man. He's a Chelsea fan as well. Take care of Sancho fast. That's all I can say. Well, not everyone might agree with me, but take care of Sancho for Manchester United. I feel like Sterling will be a good player, you know, for Arsenal. I think he'll be a decent signing. He gives them some depth up top. He's worked with Mikel Arteta. Him and Saka play pretty well together historically as well in the England team. He's some depth for Martinelli, more competition for Trossard, of course, as well. But it's listen, for a team that is needing reinforcements up front, they can never say no to a player that will improve them, even in the slightest of ways. What about Chilwell? I think Ben Chilwell is staying at Chelsea. I think, if I'm right, he's staying at Chelsea. Just woke up. Did Sancho go? Should we break the news to Wale, guys? Should we break the news to Wale? Here we go. Jadon Sancho to Chelsea. If you lot have missed it, I mean, I don't know where you've been. If you've missed it, he said he just woke up, so that makes sense. But Jadon Sancho is joining Chelsea, not just on loan, but with an obligation to buy of £25 million. So Manchester United cut their losses with Jadon Sancho. And you know what's ridiculous, guys? You know what is ridiculous? The players that Man United brought in 2021 summer are all gone. Not one of them was really a hit. Was Sancho... Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on a minute. I have a question. Was Jadon Sancho given a medal for the Carabao Cup? Was he given... Hold on. He did. I was about to say he didn't win anything at Manchester United, but he did. He did get a medal for the Carabao Cup, but he didn't get a medal for the FA Cup. He didn't get that because obviously he was on loan. Big up Ibrahim says, excellent stream, loving the content, Minna. Keep up the consistency, man. Of course. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. We got over 200 people here. Let's try and get to at least 200 likes. It's midnight here. We've been live for over an hour or nearly an hour. So let's try and get at least 200 likes and get involved in the conversation as well. If you want to join the Minions gang, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel as well, the ever-growing community that we're building here. If you want to support the channel in other ways and you enjoy and appreciate the content here on a regular basis, you can send in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. 25 million plus a 7 million loan fee. I heard this fee somewhere, and Chelsea is paying Sancho 250k wages. What? I haven't seen anything officially yet. I'm just saying that because I haven't actually been able to scroll my timeline on Twitter in the last hour or so. But if that is honestly the case, guys, Man United have really, really done decent. They've done decent. I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt. We're going to say this is a tier 5 source. If anybody does know how much Jadon Sancho has gone to Chelsea for in terms of the loan fee and what the agreement is, do let us know. But if this is the case, this is pretty decent. Like, totals over 40 million saved on Jadon Sancho, which is basically just slightly more than his amortized transfer fee for the year, for the financial year, and his wages in net book value for the year is about 37 million. So essentially, from an accounting perspective, which is what PSR is essentially based on, Man United have made a profit on Jadon Sancho in the books, but overall, obviously, they haven't, because they bought him for 70-something million, and then let him go for 25 million. Big up Raymond says, big up Minna watching live from Bermuda. Shout out to everyone from Bermuda. I didn't know people lived in excuse my stupidity, but I thought like the Bermuda Triangle, nobody lives there. Is that different? Is that different to Bermuda? Versus, no, I need to see. I need to make sense before I say anything stupid. Apparently, it's not the same thing. Bermuda is a completely different country, guys. People live on the island. Shout out to everyone in Bermuda. Shout out to everybody there. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. It's actually an island with the Union Jack logo on it. Shout out to Raymond, and shout out to everybody in Bermuda as well. I'm gonna add that on my bucket list of countries for me to visit. What else have we missed out? We missed out this. Does anybody know who these two boys are there? Does anyone know who these two boys are there? These two young boys. This is Marcus Rashford here. And this is Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay has officially left Manchester United. And wow, what a departure message Manchester United wrote for him. I don't think I've ever seen a more detailed, more emotional. I could feel the emotions through the message that they wrote for him. Let me try bring it up on here. Big up Abubakar says, who's Man United's new left back? My brother. That's all I got. That's all we got. We don't have a new left back. We don't have a new left back. We got Nazim Azraoui as a fullback, and that's it. United did not buy another left back in the last couple of hours or so. Here we go. Let's read the message that Manchester United left for him. The Scotland international rose through the ranks to become one of our most celebrated academy players of his generation, appearing 255 times, guys. 200 between in this picture, guys, is over, if I'm not wrong, over 800 appearances for Manchester United. He was handed his debut by Jose Mourinho against Arsenal in 2017. Scott became an important player in the side and, of course, enjoyed some unforgettable moments, including the Carabao Cup and Emirates FA Cup final under Eric Ten Hag. They went to speak about the goals, and they said, of his 29 senior goals for the Reds, a career-high 10 came last season with the late brace to turn the home match with Brentford on its head, bringing the house down at the Theatre of Dreams. Scott McTominay has also scored more times against Aston Villa than any other opponent. They went on to talk about, obviously, his last couple games. McTominay will be missed by everyone at the club and leaves with our best wishes as he embarks on a new chapter of his career in Italy. The switch to the Serie A giants, Napoli, sees him link up again with former United teammate Romelu Lukaku. Good luck, Scott, and thank you for the fabulous memories. Let's compare this tomorrow or the day after, the message that they put out for Sancho, guys, because they're going to give about 2 sentences. They're going to say Jadon Sancho has departed Manchester United on a loan, XYZ, keep it moving. That's all we're going to see. Thank God Cass stayed. I mean, for depth wise, yes, thank God Casemiro stayed. But Man United still need to answer some questions in the midfield in the next summer transfer window. I think this summer transfer window has definitely shown that United got the main things right thus far, but there's still so much to do. And I think we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what INEOS have done. Big up to Da'ala says, Mina, do you think we have enough squad depth up front? Are we really relying on Rashford, Xerxes, Garnacho, Ahmed and Bruno? I'm not going to lie. The quality and depth in that front line is a bit worrying when you look at it. You look at the players that we have available. We've got Xerxes, we've got Højlund as number 9s, right? Neither of them are sole number 9s or people who can play solely by themselves as a number 9. We've got Rashford and Garnacho for depth on the left. We've got Ahmad, Garnacho, and Anthony. I'm mentioning Anthony because he is a player that United have, but Anthony on the right-hand side. You've got Bruno in the 10. You've got Mason Mount, who's just been announced as injured and is missing 5 to 6 weeks. Man United are 2-3 injuries away from being thin in that front line again. If Højlund continues to have injury issues, United are in a problem. I think Ahmad's fitness is not worrying, or his ability to be fit is not worrying, because if you watched him when he's played a significant amount of football, like at Sunderland, he didn't really miss a lot of games to injuries. Garnacho, I hope, can stay fit because he's been Mr. Reliable since he came into the first team. And for me, it's not Marcus Rashford. My worry about Marcus Rashford is not about whether he stays fit. It's about what he contributes when he's playing. All the other guys I mentioned, Ahmad, Garnacho, they can impact a game. They can create a goal. They can score. They can create a chance, get an assist. Marcus Rashford has been a shadow of himself in the last 12 or so months. So I'm more worried about Marcus Rashford hitting the ground running. If you think back to that season that he scored 30 plus, Eric Ten Hag's first season, Marcus Rashford didn't hit the ground running until before the World Cup, I think it was, or after the World Cup. He didn't really start scoring in the manner that he did. I think that run he went from January to February was ridiculous. So my only worry is, you're right, that not the quality in depth, but it's just the numbers that you have, and the fact that United are just 1 or 2 injuries away from playing their B options and improvising up front. And you don't want that. You never want that. I mean, Erik Ten Hag said that Joshua Zirkzee was playing through injury at Bologna since April. And that's why he didn't get integrated into the United first team immediately. They wanted to give him some rest time. I do think United will go out next summer and sign another winger. And this is also why I didn't want Jadon Sancho to leave, guys. I know a lot of you lot wanted Sancho to leave, but I was under the impression that if he was back in training, it meant that he was available for matchday selection. And if he was available for matchday selection, it's just another player that's available, another option, another alternative kind of profile that United can bring off the bench. That wasn't the case. And at the end of the day, all the best of luck to him at Chelsea. But that quality up front, or that depth up front, is a bit worrying, because one thing we know about Erik Ten Hag is when Erik Ten Hag likes a player, he sticks to him. When Erik Ten Hag likes a Garnacho playing every game, he will stick to Garnacho playing every game. When Erik Ten Hag wants Rashford to play every game, he will play Rashford every game. And that just might mean other players might not get a chance. I mean, on the right-hand side, we've got a bit more depth because we've got Ahmad, we've got Garnacho, you've got Anthony, but you also have Bruno that can play out on the far right. Mason Mount, if he's available, big if, can also play out on the far right. And I think on the left, I actually think United might explore the possibility of Rasmus Højlund playing as not playing as a left winger, but playing as a second striker, more in that half space between the striker and the left winger. He's not going to be like Rashford, who hugs the touchline a lot. I think he's going to come a bit more into that half space as a second striker behind the Zirkzee, or even rotate between him and Zirkzee. So I definitely could imagine that left-hand side switching up a little bit. I'm not going to lie, guys. I wouldn't be solely against a 4-4-2 kind of formation that sees a 2-striker option. I really wouldn't be too against it. I would like to see Zirkzee and Højlund together, because I think Højlund would be the player that drops a bit deeper and be that Bobby Firmino of the team that drops a bit deeper and kind of links up with the 10 and with the wingers and kind of create a bit more space. So I'm very, very interested to see how that pans out. But listen, look at this, guys. These lot here have done a good job in this window. I'm going to be 100% honest with you lot. I think they've done a very, very decent job. And like I said earlier, given the fact that quite a few of them didn't start in their roles until July, of course they were probably talking and communicating, within reason. But you look at Dan Ashworth coming in and how big he's been, not just for, signing the right players, but also for the women's team. I know a lot of you lot don't watch the women's team, but even the women's team have had a relatively good so far window in terms of bringing in players a lot more sooner compared to previous windows. It seems like United in this summer transfer window were adamant to not only bring in players or certain players, but bring in the right profile of players and taking into consideration solely the project that they're building, rather than the kind of player that Manchester United's manager wants. Because I think if it was up to Erik Ten Hag, McTominay would have stayed and Ugarte might not have come. And you look at, by the way, Newcastle's window. They've had a stinker, guys. Newcastle their fans are not happy at all. And they are it's the same fans that were downplaying Dan Ashworth's importance and Manchester United reportedly paying for him and us giving them money to kind of add to their transfer kitty, their transfer piggy bank, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. I think INEOS have done a lot to put Erik Ten Hag in the right place, but it's just a matter now of Erik Ten Hag getting it right. It's a matter of Erik Ten Hag getting it right. We ain't winning nothing. We're ending the season 8th or 9th. Daoud, why do you think that? Let me know why you think that. We got less than 13, guys. Less than 13 likes to get to 200. So if you have not hit the like button, guys, please do hit the like button. This is my 3rd stream of the day, but we're going to wrap it up soon. And then we've got another stream tomorrow morning with Marcel. Matchday content on Monday. We got so much content. If you have not seen, go watch the stream that I did previewing the Liverpool game as well. And there will be a video up on United View as well, previewing the Liverpool game with AGT. That guy is a headache. So make sure you lot check that out tomorrow as well. Less than 7 likes away, guys. So let's get there. Our attack is the issue. we let Sancho go for peanuts. I think everybody's just caught up on this Sancho thing, you know. I don't think there's been a transfer that I've seen so talked about for Manchester United on deadline day or just in general as this Sancho one. Irfan, the money for Sancho, we don't know. We know it's 25 million obligation. What we don't know is whether Chelsea are paying a transfer fee, a loan fee, sorry, for him. We don't know. We don't really know. But what we do know is that it's a loan with an obligation to buy for Jadon Sancho, and it's a 25 million transfer fee for that obligation. Now, just for some context and to try get a prediction, guys, of what it could possibly be in terms of the package. Arsenal have just signed Raheem Sterling on loan with no fee, no loan fee, no obligation to buy, no option to buy, just a 1-year loan fee and paying less than 50% of their wages. Now, if Manchester United can get 7, 8, I mean, didn't Chelsea pay 12 million euros for João Felix on loan, right? For 6 months. Surely United can get 8, 9 million for Jadon Sancho, 8 million, 9 million pounds. And if they can get Chelsea to pay a hefty amount of the wages, because Jadon Sancho is on, I think it's 250 a week plus bonuses. If they can get Chelsea to pay that, then I think it's conditions that work for Manchester United. So United refused Sterling even at those conditions. I don't think United refused him at those conditions. I think the conditions might have been different if it was Man United in that transfer, in that loan option for Raheem Sterling. I think what they would have probably looked to do is maybe get a lot more wages out of Manchester United and maybe a loan fee. I mean, I don't think the loan was ever the option. I think it was a swap that they were looking at for Sancho and Sterling. Sancho is on less than Sterling. Raheem Sterling, guys, for some context, he's on 325k a week. He's now the highest earner at Chelsea. Before that, I think it was Romelu Lukaku, who's now gone to Napoli. Raheem Sterling was one of the highest earners at Chelsea. If Arsenal have agreed a loan fee that pays less than 50%, they're paying like 100k. They're paying like 100k of his of 300k salary. So that is a deal for me. It's a short-term solution for Arsenal, right? Manchester United are not looking for short-term solutions. There's no short-term solutions. Abe's World says we have an academy player that's a lot better than Sterling and Sancho. Are you talking about... I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about. You're talking about Shea Lacey. I think that's the only person I think you could be talking about if you're talking about an academy player that is better than Sterling and Sancho. Talk about Ugarte, because I actually don't know how he played 50 M's for someone that I really don't see what he drastically improves in our midfield. Well, there's a really good video out on the Overlap. Go on the Overlap's Twitter page. A guy called H that works for the Overlap did a very good analysis on Ugarte. But the profile, I think, of Ugarte is that destroyer in the midfield, right? And I think United need 2 types of profiles. And that's why I was always kind of under the impression that United would sign 2 midfielders in the same manner that we signed 2 defenders. We were linked to sign potentially 3 defenders if Jared Branthwaite became available. But what I see in Manchester United's midfield is gaping holes of physicality and legs when it comes to running. Covering ground, if you want to call it that. Covering ground. I think Manuel Ugarte answers a couple of those questions. Is he going to be this kind of controller, this dictator in the midfield that dictates the tempo of the game, that slows it down when you need to, speed it up when you need to, kind of get the ball moving, etc., etc.? No. But I think from a physicality perspective, he's going to offer a lot more in Manchester United's midfield. Now, one thing I will say is Manuel Ugarte, I'm very interested to see, personally, if he plays as a lone 6. Because I think, guys, anybody that plays in a lone 6 in Eric Ten Hag's system is being set up to fail. There, you could put the greatest of midfielders in that six for Manchester United. If they are playing alone, they are going to suffocate. They are going to drown, right? And the reason why I say that is, for example, you look at Manchester City, and maybe it's not a good example because Manchester City tend to dominate possession in games. Rodri don't play as a lone six. He literally had last season John Stones inverting with him. He had John Stones inverting with him, Vardio inverting with him. He always had someone with him if necessary, right? Manchester United's midfield, and I can bring up heaps of screenshots, guys, under Eric Ten Hag. There is so much space in that midfield. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Manuel Ugarte, for me, is not solely going to answer that by himself. He's not going to answer that by himself. And if I see Manuel Ugarte playing as a lone six, he's being set up to fail. I saw his match versus Newcastle home and away, and he was exposed by himself 100%. And in a game where Manchester United like to play a 3-1-6, and not only play 3-1-6, but the six that are kind of pushed forward are essentially they're in like a what's the right term? That it's like a staggered three, where it's three this way and then three this way staggered. The amount of space between this six up top and the one by himself in midfield is ridiculous. And this is why United got hit with counters all the time. We saw it against Brighton. Brighton, could have scored more in some counters because of that midfield. Let me see what else you lot are saying. Big up to Sully Jr. Big up says, Minna, we signed 2. KONE will be ready. I'm 100% sure. Listen, I want KONE to do well. I want Seko KONE to absolutely do well at Manchester United, but I don't think he's going to come in immediately. But one thing I will say is that I think Samuel Luckhurst was saying about Seko KONE that Manchester United are not treating him like Obi Martin, like Lasal, they're not treating him as an academy signing per se. They're treating him as a under 21 signing. They expect him to come in, settle into Manchester first, into life in Manchester, life in England. I mean, he's a young kid, 18 years old, coming from Mali by himself, with his family, etc. Get him settled in. He doesn't speak a lick of English, guys. He speaks French. Get him settled into the city, all of that kind of stuff. Get him into under 21s and then slowly get him into the first team. But he needs to bulk up. I think we've seen, like, I don't want to say like the Paul Pogba-esque kind of players, but the slim, tall, lanky kind of players that have long legs are able to glide when they're running. He needs to get a bit stronger. But only time will tell as we see him playing in like the under 21s. I said I give him 12 to 18 months before he's training with the first team. I give him 18 months to make a first team appearance. I watched him in the under 17 World Cup, guys. He's very good. He takes a lot of risk, which is scary, but it's scary, but it's also at that age. If you're fearless at that age, if you don't fear anything at that age, under 17 World Cup, then boy, you're going to be a very, very good talent. And Manchester United did their due diligence in kind of researching him. One thing that also Manchester United are obviously moving a bit differently in this window is the kind of quick movements that they've made with Seko KONE. Of course, other players, it took a bit of time. But with Seko KONE, they watched him in the under 17s World Cup. They watched him in an under 18 tournament in North Africa recently. And they decided from that with the right academy, i.e. Manchester United, he will come in and he could become a good player. He can come in and become a good player. So for me, that's very good. Alpha says, KONE will not be ready, man. I'm from Mali. Big up to everyone from Mali. And I can tell you he hasn't featured in our under 21s, only the under 17s. He's very raw talent. But I think that's what they're getting, a raw talent. Can I just say also, I remember watching Lamine Camara for Senegal in the under 17s AFCON. I watched him in under 17s AFCON. And I am amazed by the fact that United didn't even look at Lamine Kamara's direction, because KONE and Lamine Kamara is more ready for first team football than he is. Lamine Kamara, since the under 17 AFCON, guys, in the space of 18 years, he went from playing in Senegal to joining Metz for a season, joining the AFCON senior team with Senegal in January this year, and now got a move to Monaco in 18 months. 18 months. Shout out to Lamine Camara. He's a good player. I watched his first game for Senegal, in the under-17s. And I was like, this kid is going to be Senegal's next star. He came into the AFCON senior competition in January, and I think he scored 2 goals, or he scored a goal or 2, I think, in his first game. And he scored quite a few goals throughout the competition. Still a lot for him to learn, and now he's gone to Monaco. Youssouf Fofana has left and gone to AC Milan. So he's got some big boots to fill, because Mohamed Kamara has left as well and gone to, I think, it's not Al Sadd, it's another team in Qatar. So for me, that's it. He's a good talent. He's a good talent. But KONE for me is something for the future. He's something for the future. Let's see if there's any kind of further information before we wrap up the stream, because it is, guys, 12:30 here in the UK. Yeah, 12:30 a.m. UK time, and I'm still live. I'm still live. I'm saying it's my 3rd stream of the day, right? And it is technically my 3rd stream of the day on this channel, but I've been back and forth between different channels since basically 4 p.m. UK time. So make sure you lot hit the like button. If you want to join the Minions gang, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel as well. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can, by sending in super chats, by sending in joining the members gang, and of course by doing something simple like liking and subscribing. It's the road now to 10k. We're not even going to say road to 7k. We're going to say it's the road to 10k. But is there any more information? God damn, doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like there is any more information for Manchester United on this deal. Let's see what Chelsea's offer was to Victor Osimhen quickly, because you know this is still a thing that's bamboozling me, and how this move did not happen. Guys, there's some more information about Chelsea's offer to Victor Osimhen, and this is coming from Damasio. 4 million euros per season guaranteed, plus another 4 million in bonuses. The 4 million guaranteed is less than half of his Napoli series. Damn. They offered him less than half of what he at Napoli. What? After Chelsea have just spent how long giving out crazy contracts to everyone, they turn around and offer Victor Osimhen half of what he's earning at Napoli, and the rest in bonuses. So in the 4 million euros bonuses, 2 million of it is UCL qualification, and 2 million of it is goals and appearances, so individual performance and team performance. An 8 million package, but the 4 million guaranteed is less than half of what he earns at Napoli. No wonder he said no. Honestly, guys, no wonder this guy said no. But just quickly, like I said, on Jadon Sancho, there's not really any information. So we're going to wait to see, maybe tomorrow, maybe later tonight, what the actual details are of his loan thing. But what we do know right now is obligation to buy of 25 million. We don't know what the loan fee is, and we don't know what they're covering in the salary. But I hope it's nothing like the deal that they've agreed with Arsenal for Sterling, because that deal is ass. That deal is ridiculous. United will not benefit from that. But you lot know what it is, man. Listen, be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Have we hit 2 million likes? 2 million likes. What the hell? That's how you know I need to go to bed, guys. Have we hit 200 likes? Yes, we have. We hit 200, and we've actually surpassed it. So make sure you keep hitting the like button. If you are watching this back later on, make sure you hit the like button as well. As I mentioned, make sure you go and watch. There's a lot of videos out there. Make sure you go and watch the video on my channel with my friend Khalid, who's a Liverpool fan, where we previewed the game. Make sure you go to the COP TV with AGT and like the preview that we did there for the Liverpool game. Tomorrow when it drops, make sure you hit the like button and go and check out the preview that we did for United View. Big up Mo says, Mina, I came here only to drop the like. Shout out to Mo. He's an Arsenal fan, so I hope he enjoys Raheem Sterling. Yahya says, breaking news. Here we go to bed. It's bedtime, man. It's bedtime. Transfer deadline day officially comes to an end. 3 streams in a day, man. I'm tired. I'm absolutely tired. If you lot don't see me anytime soon, don't be surprised. But make sure you hit the like button. Big up to everyone that came through. Have a great evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Have a great night if you are in the UK and you're staying up just like me. Enjoy whatever you lot get up to, and we will be back tomorrow morning. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Well, I'm joined by Marcel, who, by the way, has a lot to say about Jadon Sancho. He's got a lot to say about Jadon Sancho. So we'll be back tomorrow, inshallah, God willing, 10 a.m. UK time, before the 12 o'clock kickoff game. We're going to get it cracking. And then it's the big one on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it, man. Here we go. Here we land. Whatever you lot want to call it, man. Listen, enjoy your night, guys. I'm out. Peace.